What it do, y'all? This your boy King Ed the Great coming at y'all with another video. Subscribe, hit the like button for me. So, I'm pretty sure everybody watched last night's fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. First of all, let me go ahead and say kudos to both of those guys for their performance last night. It was a straight knockdown, drag out. Both of these guys showed a lot of heart, and they almost went the full distance. It was what you would call a great heavyweight bout. So big shout out to both of those guys for showing out last night, because this is what the sport of boxing needs. Now, going on to Deontay Wilder, and where does he go from here? A lot of people will probably say he should go on. I'm going to go ahead and say he probably need to hang it up shortly. Let me tell you the reason why. Number one, when you put racial epithets into a fight like this, it does something to you mentally. See, anytime where you put the hood on your back or you put the black community on your back and you turn this thing racial, it's more pressure. Fury, on the other hand, he didn't really push that racial line. So he didn't really have that pressure to rely on other than him keeping his belt. But psychologically, when you fighting not only to get your belt, to get your rep, but you're also putting the community on your back, that's a lot of pressure that a lot of people can't obtain. So that plays a huge psychological role. And where he's probably going to go in his future, he's probably feeling like he let his people down. He dropped the ball. And yes, he's a great power puncher, one of the best out there. And watching the fight, he had things going if he would have stayed and switched his strategy up a little bit. He was working the body. I could tell that he was switching his game plan up a little bit. He should have stayed on the body and wore Tyson down. But he got impatient and wanted to go for the knockdown. When he went for the knockdown, his lack of technique got exposed, and that's where Fury was able to go to work on it. Plus, I don't know, man. It just seemed like he was out of it within the 4th or 5th round. Like, he just felt sluggish. And I know a lot of people going to come with crazy conspiracies talking about, well, he may have took the jab. And he took the jab, he may have felt woozy. I bet you that's going to be the next one. But at the end of the day, Fury is the better boxer. He studied Tyson. He studied Ali. He wrapped himself around black trainers. He understands the fundamentals. Wilder is a great power puncher, but he can't go the distance. And as he showed last night, when he lands that punch, it could be lights out. That's the thing about heavyweight boxers. They rely on that power punch, that one hit, and that's it. That's all she wrote. But Fury carried it the distance almost, turned it to a boxing match. Wilder couldn't keep up. He sounded like he was just tired at this point, like he was just sluggish. And he had to feel a sort of way. He felt like he let his community down and stuff. Now, this is where it plays on his site. You don't want to see this another Jermaine Taylor situation going down, or another Bernard Hopkins where people overstay their welcome, because psychologically that's what it does when you take a beating like that. He still hasn't really recovered psychologically from the second ass whooping that he took, because he felt like he was emasculated from that second fight. I mean, anytime when a man licks your blood, it goes to show you right there that it takes a toll psychologically on where you trying to go with that. So he may be in great shape, but boxing is very mental at the end of the day. Boxing is very, very mental. I mean, this is totally different from taking a loss. It's the way you lose from the second fight and going on to the third. Because even Roy Jones went through the same thing. The minute Roy Jones got hit and knocked down, he was never the same fighter. He was never the same aggressive fighter. Same thing happened to Hector Camacho. He never recovered either. It's like when you take that first knockdown, it psychologically does something to you. And then you don't want to give up because you're sitting there trying to erase that stigma of that loss, especially a bad loss. Because Roy wasn't the same fighter after the Tarver fight, and he overstayed his welcome. So where he should go from here, he's probably going to go ahead and take a long break, fight one or two good fights and win those and ride off to the sunset. Because he's 35 years old. He don't won the championship. He doesn't really have a lot to prove at this point. That's the best bet, in my opinion, what he should do. But it shouldn't be a stigma on you catching a loss. Because people lose all the time. But the way you lose, it plays a different role. So, once again, kudos to both fighters. They put on a hell of a show. Tyson just happened to be the better fighter. He came out on top. I mean, I predicted that. Because when you don't have the fundamentals and you psychologically psyched in to where you have to win for your people, a lot of people ain't just built to handle that pressure. Ali and Tyson were the only two that could rise to the occasion and handle that. But that's just the way it goes. That's the way it goes right there. And nobody's putting Deontay down as a bad fighter. I mean, he has an impressive record, but he just don't have a lot of the tools. And it showed last night. Matter of fact, it showed in the first fight. So that's my opinion on it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Subscribe, hit the like button. Peace.